One of the main responsibilities of the HR department is recruitment and selection. While HR operates in many fields such as employee engagement, training, regulatory compliance, data management among others, recruiting, selecting, and onboarding suitable candidate for the company is one of the main areas of emphasis for HR. Recruitment is the process of obtaining eligible applicants for a job position, and selection is the process by which the best applicant for that job is found and chosen. Hiring talented individuals is critical to an organization's success. Every employee's contributions play a central role in the proper growth and development of an organization. Recruiting processes have a direct impact on an organization's bottom line. A 2012 study found that employers that excelled in recruiting experienced 3.5 times more revenue growth and twice the profit margin of employers that were less capable in recruiting. Strack et al. 2012. Hence, finding the right person for the job is extremely critical. Much as a square peg would not fit in a round hole, the overall company performance may be influenced by a bad hire. When you recruit the wrong applicant, the effect in your organization is always much more than not recruiting an individual at all. Acquiring the right talent can be a challenging task. Employers must decide the type of people they want to attract, what recruitment message to convey, and how to reach targeted individuals. If done poorly, an organization's recruitment efforts can produce job applicants who are unqualified, lack diversity, or may be likely to quit if hired. A poorly designed recruitment process can also miss highly qualified job candidates because they were unaware of a job opening. Recruitment is a crucial strategic activity for the organization, not just an organizational activity. Hence, a good recruitment and selection process needs to be established. The right process represents the professionalism of your corporation and portrays the sophistication of your company in recruiting and employing the right talent. A successful process helps to proactively build a talent pool, thus helping to achieve medium-term and long-term business goals. Recruiting includes several stakeholders in your company, including senior-level employees, which can cost a lot in terms of time and resources. Therefore, to satisfy the needs of all stakeholders, one has to make sure that the process is well defined and optimized. In trying to attract and hire the best qualified candidates, the whole activity is usually called recruitment, selection, and placement or onboarding of newly hired employees. We might as well define each of these processes. Recruitment is the process of attracting individuals on a timely basis, in sufficient numbers, and with appropriate qualifications to apply for jobs with an organization. Recruitment is best described as the way in which an organization tries to source or attract the people from whom it will ultimately make selections. Recruitment strategies include efforts to reach better pools of candidates and to sell the organization as an employer of choice. Selection is the process of choosing from a group of applicants the individual best suited for a particular position in the organization. Properly matching people with jobs and the organization is the goal of the selection process. Selection is about choosing between job candidates. It is about how to make a fair and accurate assessment of the strengths and weaknesses of applicants and how to identify the candidate who is most likely to perform well in the job. The purpose of selection is to match people to work. It is the most important element in any organization's management of people simply because it is not possible to optimize the effectiveness of human resources, by whatever method, if there is a less than adequate match. Employee onboarding is the process of integrating a new employee with a company and its culture, as well as getting a new hire the tools and information needed to become a productive member of the team. Finding the best candidates for positions in your organization is only part of building an effective team. The process of onboarding new employees can be one of the most critical factors in ensuring recently hired talent will be productive, contented workers. However, in some organizations, onboarding is often confused with orientation. While orientation might be necessary, paperwork and other routine tasks must be completed. Onboarding is a comprehensive process involving management and other employees that can last up to 12 months. A separate discussion will be dedicated to understanding the new employee onboarding process. Recruitment and selection ideally start with human resource planning, workforce planning. The human resource planning process determines if the organization will hire or not. When HR planning indicates the need for additional labor, organizations have several choices to make. This may be the first step in a full-scale recruitment and selection process, but sometimes hiring additional employees is not the best method to obtain additional labor. It may be appropriate for an organization to consider alternatives to recruiting, such as outsourcing or contingent labor, instead of hiring regular employees. If this is a temporary fluctuation in work volume, the simplest solution may be part-time labor or overtime by existing employees. The costs of recruitment and selection can be staggering. Hiring new employees should occur only after careful consideration and only when the organization anticipates a long-term need for additional labor. Careful HR planning must consider the overall growth prospects of the organization and accurate forecasting of future labor needs. Recruitment planning begins only when other alternatives have been considered and eliminated. Looking into the diagram, the recruitment and selection activities of the organization is being guided by the employment planning and strategic planning process. The organizational mission is the guide for organizational strategy. HR analyzes the tasks to be done and figures out how to organize those tasks into jobs. The next step is to determine how many workers are necessary to fill those jobs and the skills they will need. If the supply of workers exceeds the number necessary, HR must recruit or reduce the number of workers. If the supply of workers is less than the number necessary, HR must recruit more workers to fulfill the organizational mission. Human resource planning is one of the most important elements in a successful HRM program because it is a process by which an organization ensures that it has the right number and kinds of people at the right place, at the right time, capable of effectively and efficiently completing those tasks that will help the organization achieve its overall strategic objectives. A structure for recruiting and selecting employees. Let me show you the typical steps in the recruitment and selection process. It's a fairly standard approach and organizations may use something similar already. Every step is important in giving you the best opportunity of attracting the best people with ability and potential. The first step is to determine whether recruitment is necessary. It may be that the vacancy can be filled in some other way. Valuable information can be obtained by conducting an exit interview with the person who is leaving. You can then look at how the post could be filled from within, for example, through redeployment or flexible working. Second step is to analyze the job. Adopting a methodology for job analysis establishes what is required of the post holder. This provides the information you will need in order to specify the job and the person best suited to fill the vacancy. Step 3 is to write a job description or competency profile, and person specification. The job description states the purpose, responsibilities, and conditions of the job. The person specification provides a framework of the qualities and abilities that best fit the job. As an alternative to the job description, some organizations are using competency profiles. These state the competencies for the role, rather than listing specific tasks and duties. Step 4 is to decide on the most appropriate application and selection methods. The common choice is between the application form and the curriculum vitae, CV, and sometimes being called as the resume. You also need to decide at this stage how to select the candidate, through interview alone, or using some form of selection test. Step 5 is to decide how to attract candidates. Making decisions about how to market a vacancy is crucial. It ensures you reach your potential recruits, and mistakes can be costly. The sixth step is to market the job. Once the decision on where to market has been taken, it is also important that you decide how to market. This means ensuring that any advertisement is fair and representative of both the job and your organization. Step 7 is to filter and shortlist applications. This means reducing the number of applicants to a manageable number for selection. If too few people are carried forward to the next stage, it restricts your choice. Too many and wastes time and leads to confusion. Step 8 is to conduct selection tests and/or interviews. The selection method should have been agreed upon earlier. The event itself must be well managed, not only to analyze the match between candidate and job but also to give a good impression of the organization they may be joining. Step 9 is to make a decision and offer. The decision about who to appoint must be based on facts and evidence, not gut reaction or instinct. Once the decision has been taken, the successful candidate can be informed face-to-face or by phone, and always in writing. Step number 10, verification and background check. References are usually requested once a conditional offer has been made, and they are a vital part of the selection process. Background references can be obtained from several sources. Some of the following references may be more useful and relevant than others, depending on the jobs for which applicants are being considered: academic references, prior work references, financial references, law enforcement records, and personal references. References can be obtained by phone or letter, but, as a manager, you need to be aware of the potential pitfalls. Step 11 is the submission of pre-employment requirements. If the verification and background do not impose negative feedback from various references, organizations can start to instruct the successful candidate to submit various pre-employment requirements. There are a few documents you need on hand before your first day at work, such as transcript of records, diploma, PSA birth certificate, SSS and TIN number and other government-mandated benefits, and a medical certificate indicating fit for employment. The last step is onboarding and training. A good start is essential if you want the person to be effective in their new role quickly. Thorough induction helps to build loyalty and commitment, thus increasing the chances of retaining their skills within the organization. In summary, the typical recruitment and selection process includes: Step 1. Determining whether recruitment is necessary. Step 2. Analyze the job. Step 3. Write a job description or competency profile and person specification. Step 4. Decide on the more appropriate application and selection methods. Step 5. Decide on how to attract candidates. Step 6. Market or advertise the job. Step 7. Filter and shortlist applications. Step 8. Conduct selection tests and interviews. Step 9. Make a decision of who to hire. Step 10. Verification and background check. Step 11. Job offer and submission of pre-employment requirements. And lastly, Step 12. Onboarding and training. Those are the typical steps in the recruitment and selection process. It is a long and tedious process that aims to select only the best and culture-fit candidates. The recruitment and selection process is a partnership and collaboration between the HR unit and various line managers who requisitioned for the job vacancy. Depending on the size of an organization, recruitment is the responsibility of a range of workers. Larger organizations may have entire teams of recruiters, while others only a single recruiter. In small outfits, the hiring manager may be responsible for recruiting. The table shows the typical distribution of recruiting responsibilities between the HR department and managers in larger organizations. The HR unit is responsible for forecasting recruiting needs, prepares copy for recruiting ads and campaigns, plans and conducts recruiting efforts, and audits and evaluates all recruiting efforts. Managers, on the other hand, anticipate needs for employees to fill vacancies, determines the knowledge, skills, and attitudes of applicants. They also assist in the recruiting effort with information about job requirements and review recruiting efforts activities. I have mentioned that the outcomes of the human resource planning process determine if an organization will hire or not. A vacancy may occur in two ways: when an employee resigns, retires, dies, or discharged from the service, and when a new position is created as a result of expansion, restructuring, or reorganization. Frequently, recruitment begins when a manager initiates an employee requisition, a document that specifies job title, department, the date the employee is needed for work, and other details. With this information, managers can refer to the appropriate job description to determine the qualifications the recruited person needs. The next step in the recruitment process is to determine whether qualified employees are available within the firm, the internal source, or if it is necessary to look to external sources, such as colleges, universities, and other organizations. Because of the high cost of recruitment, organizations need to use the most productive recruitment sources and methods available. Recruitment sources are where qualified candidates are located, such as colleges or competitors. Recruitment methods are the specific means used to attract potential employees to the firm, such as online recruiting. Identifying productive sources of applicants and using suitable recruitment methods are essential to maximizing recruiting efficiency and effectiveness. When a firm identifies the sources of candidates, it uses appropriate methods for either internal or external recruitment to accomplish recruitment objectives. A candidate responds to the firm's recruitment efforts by submitting professional and personal data on either an application for employment or a resume, depending on the company's policy. Companies may discover that some recruitment sources and methods are superior to others for locating and attracting potential talent. Smart recruiters want to post their job where the best prospects are likely to be. Let us also look into the different recruitment terms that are usually being identified before the actual recruitment efforts are being carried out. Because recruitment takes place in different labor markets that can vary a great deal, learning some basics about labor markets aids in understanding recruiting. Labor markets are the external supply pool from which employers attract employees. A labor market is a place where workers and employees interact with each other. In the labor market, employers compete to hire the best, and the workers compete for the best satisfying job. Understanding labor market analysis is vital in recruitment. Labor market analysis is an integral part of an organization's recruitment process because it not only helps it find the most qualified workers for the jobs that it offers but also ensures that it provides a competitive compensation package to its workers. This is important in order for an organization to be able to keep its competent workers and, thus, continue its productivity. Components of the labor market. The labor market comprises four components, namely, the labor force population, applicant pool, and the individuals selected. The labor force population or labor force participation refers to the number of individuals who are available to work in a labor market. It considers all workers who are offering their skills and services for employment regardless of the industry they are in. The second component is the applicant population, which refers to the people who are applying for a particular job that suits their expertise and skills. Recruiters take a look first at the labor market and then look next for individuals who meet the skills and qualifications that are set for a particular job. For example, the people who are looking for IT, graphics design, and similar jobs belong to the same applicant population which is targeted by recruiters who are looking for this type of professional. The third component is the applicant pool, which is the actual number of people who initially signified their interest to apply for a particular job by sending in their resume. It may very well be considered the first part of the selection process where the recruitment department of a specific organization receives applications and screens them to determine who advances to the next round of screening. The fourth component is the individuals selected, which simply means the individual or individuals who've made it through the screening process and have been hired for the job. Of course, this is judged based on a number of factors, and the person is screened against a carefully determined set of qualifications. At least 4 recruiting decisions affect the nature of the applicant population. The first factor is the recruiting method. These are advertising medium chosen and considering the use of employment agencies. The second factor is the recruiting message, what is said about the job and how it is said. The third factor is the applicant qualifications required. These refer to the education level and amount of experience necessary. Lastly, administrative procedures refers to the time of year recruiting is done, the follow-ups with applicants, and the use of previous applicant files. The decisions that are made about recruiting help dictate not only the kinds and numbers of applicants but also how difficult or successful recruiting efforts may be. Recruiting strategy entails identifying where to recruit, who to recruit, and what the job requirements will be. One key consideration is deciding about internal versus external searches that must be made. Most employers combine the use of internal and external recruiting sources. Both promoting from within the organization, internal recruitment, and hiring from outside the organization, external recruitment, come with advantages and disadvantages. Let us discuss the advantages and disadvantages. Internal recruitment is the first decision in recruitment. This type of recruitment looks into getting internal sources to fill positions and encourages promotions from within. An organization's promotion policy will have a significant effect on the recruitment process. If the open position is above the entry level, it may be appropriate to promote someone already working for the organization. Many organizations use promotion from within as a motivation tool and a reward for good work or longevity with the organization. When employees see their coworkers being promoted, they become more aware of their own career opportunities. Management should be able to identify current employees who are capable of filling positions as they become available. Helpful tools used for internal recruitment include human resource databases, job postings and job bidding, and employee referrals. Internal recruitment has several advantages. It is usually cheaper in terms of starting pay and faster to fill up internal vacancies. Savings can be made since individuals with inside knowledge of how the business operates will need shorter periods of training and time for fitting in. It improves employee morale. It acts as an incentive to all staff to work harder within the organization. From the company's point of view, the strengths and weaknesses of an insider will have been assessed. It has potential then for a better success rate since the track record of an employee is known. Other advantages include, internal employees are already attuned to the culture of the organization and the organization is unlikely to be disrupted by someone used to working with others in the company. Lastly, it keeps propriety and industry knowledge inside the organization. Internal recruitment has also its downsides. The management will have to replace the person who has been promoted, creating a ripple effect. More job openings occur as employees are moved about. Promoting from within may upset some inside the company, thereby lowering the morale of those not selected for the position. Internal recruitment also deprives the company of getting fresh views and new ways of doing things. It will result to inbreeding. Inbreeding occurs when an employee who is familiar with the organization continues to do things in the same old way, resulting in a lack of creative expression for corporate improvement. Internal recruitment also creates negative internal competition for the position. Employees may engage in political infighting for promotions. Lastly, an insider may be less likely to make essential criticism to get the company working more effectively. Many employers prefer to conduct internal recruitment first and turn to external recruitment only if internal efforts are unsuccessful. External recruitment is hiring someone from outside the organization. If no current employee has the desired qualifications, candidates may be attracted by a number of outside sources. Employers use external recruitment to attract individuals with the necessary skill sets that are not found in-house or when seeking to grow the business or take it in a different direction. At times, a firm must look beyond its own borders to find employees, particularly when expanding its workforce. External recruitment is needed to 1. Fill entry-level jobs, 2. Acquire skills not possessed by current employees, and 3. Obtain employees with different backgrounds to provide a diversity of ideas. External recruitment offers benefits to the organization. It draws upon a wider range of talent and provides the opportunity to bring new experience and ideas into the organization, enhancing creativity and innovation. External recruitment brings in an opportunity to acquire new skills and competencies not found in the organization. External recruitment greatly increases the possibility of identifying and attracting fresh talent. This talent comes on board with new skills and business ideas that have the ability to take your business to the next level. It also enables the organization to hire people with knowledge of competitors' secrets and easy through arguable dubious way conducting competitive intelligence gathering. External recruitment attracts a variety of applications from candidates with varying work experiences. This gives you easy access to candidates who've gained knowledge from working for different companies. Hiring these candidates would mean gaining insights into new and innovative business practices and knowing other aspects of your competitors' businesses. External recruitment also has its own downsides. Usually more costly and time-consuming to hire someone from outside. The biggest downside of an external recruitment drive is the time taken to fill open positions. Recruiters receive hundreds of resumes for every open position and screening them takes up a lot of time. The external recruitment process involves posting jobs on different platforms, coming up with compelling JDs, communicating with candidates, screening resumes, conducting interviews, and coming up with an irresistible offer. All of these aspects of the recruitment process are time-consuming, tedious, complicated, and costly. The outsider may not fit into the organization's culture. The external recruitment process can attract candidates who are not relevant or worthy of the open position. Since maximum candidates are total strangers to the recruiter, the risk of bringing a misfit on board cannot be ruled out completely. Another disadvantage is that the newly hired employee outside could be less effective in the actual job than what appears in a paper application and interview. Externally recruited employees may take a longer time to get acclimated to the job and to the organization's culture. It is also possible that your new hires may not be able to adapt to their new working environment and break the ice with their new team members. When recruiters fail to hire a culture fit, new hires often leave the job and need to be replaced, requiring recruiters to hunt for new candidates. Lastly, it may also demoralize employees who did not get the promotion and adversely affect their commitment levels.